Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. If you are starting a new job, a new life, a new relationship, a new place, you need to know one important word: no. That is the word you need to bring into your vocabulary, because whenever you're making decisions about a new place or a new situation or new clothes or new anything, you have to be able to say no to some things and yes to the thing that you really want. So using that word no is a very strategic word for you if you're in your 60s and really trying to build a new life. Living with passion and purpose is not like a straight line from A to Z. It actually requires a lot of decisions along the way. It requires you to choose it's like designing a Broadway show. Like, you are the director. You can choose the costumes, the setting, the characters, the supporting staff. You are the one that makes the decision, and it can't be everybody and it can't be everything. You have to be able to say no to certain things. Now, we've talked about this in terms of relationships a lot, and toxic relationships, and being able to say to someone that is just not giving you any love and care and concern and respect, and treating you more with contempt or with sort of I don't know, just that uneasy feeling that you have got to be able to say no to that person. I'm sorry, but this is not going to work out. And it doesn't have to be the word no, it can just be that negative message. It doesn't come easy. Now, one of our bloggers is Leslie Moon, and she wrote this article on the power of the word no for women over 60. And I'd encourage you to read the article, because it's a really good conversation about, the fact that women over 60 are like a new breed. Like, there's never been anyone like us. Even if you're not retired, formally, and you probably in many cases won't ever be, you are doing things. You've got more time. You've got some time on your hands that you didn't have before. I mean, I actually watch on TikTok. I watch some of the women who have got young kids, and I think I did that. I mean, I did do that. I had two boys, and they were crazy, and didn't continue. It didn't stop when they were 5 or 6. It was it's a lifetime thing. But it's like younger people are really busy. You're trying to get careers going and relationships established, and you're getting married and you're getting divorced, and you're doing all kinds of stuff. Anyway, as you get older, you've got more time. You've got some more time, and so you can choose now how you're going to spend that time. And if you're not looking after children full time, or you're not working full time, and most of the women in our community are looking for ways to minimize that routine. We may be dealing with aging parents. You may be dealing with, someone who's got emotional or physical or mental needs in your family. There may be a family connection, but on the whole, you have got a little bit more time than you had ever before. And so this is the time to then start saying no to situations. Now, I mentioned a lot of things there that you could be doing in your 60s, in terms of looking after grandchildren, looking after caring for a parent, these kind of roles that you've taken on because of necessity. But even they have an opportunity and a need for you to say no sometimes. And I interviewed, I think it was Dale Atkins, I can't remember the interview now, but she was an amazing woman talking about caring for aging parents. And she said that, she was dealing with, I think, her mom, and it was, she said that every time she went home, after spending time with her parent, that she had to just take a complete switch. She had to meditate, have a shower, put something nice to wear, make a good, nice meal, pamper herself. That even though she was, being called to do these things, she had to say no to certain other things so that she could have her time. And even in fact, if it means saying no to the person who wants you to look after them, I mean, there often has to be a sharing, and you have to, if you cannot deal with it anymore, you cannot cope with a situation, you have to be able to say no. And they may, and it's funny talking about timing and time. A lot of times when you're in retirement, people think you have so much time that they can ask you then to do things. Oh, you're not working anymore. How about come and working on our committee for raising money for this particular cause? It may be a cause that you totally agree with. It could be your church. It could be your community center. They need help. You've got the skills. But if you don't really want to do it, don't feel like you have to. I mean, and that's the thing about the power of the word no. She talks about Leslie talks about a coach she had that I want to read this quote because it's kind of really, I think, helpful. It says, the quote was, you've got to remember your priorities and what's important. When you are saying yes to something that is not your priority, by default, you are saying no to something that is. Do you get that quote? I think the distinction there is so important. If you have to remember what your priorities are, because that's what's important. When you are saying yes to something that is not a priority for you, you're saying no to something that is a priority for you. I just think that if there was one quote in this entire article, I would say it was that, because it really it empowers us to say, I know that it's important for me to do this thing to help this person or this situation or this club or group or whatever. But at the other hand, my priority is for my health, or I want to travel somewhere, or I want to maybe move somewhere. I want to change my situation, and you've got to weigh it up so that you're getting what you need and what your priorities are, as well as helping someone else with their priorities. Does that make any sense? I know that sounds a little harsh, but I think it's really, really important. One thing that that Leslie talks about, which I think is super helpful, I've never actually done this, but I think it might be a good thing to do sometimes, is if you're feeling overwhelmed, like you're just saying yes to too many things, and you're just overextended, try writing down everything that you do in a week. It doesn't have to be wake up, get my breakfast, eat 2 eggs, whatever. It doesn't have to be that. It just has to be what you do in a typical day. I went shopping for food for myself, and then I went over to my blah, 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 and then I did this, and I did that, and then I went to this committee meeting, and then I joined this thing, and then in the evening I did this. Just write down everything that you do in a day and look at it and say, are those all aligned to your priorities? And I know this is tricky, because you may say, well, my aging parent is my priority. I've got to make that my priority. But when you say that I've got to make, or I need to do, then that feels like it's not so much your priority, but it's something that you're obligated. And I know it's really, really hard, and you've got to do what you have to do. But I'm just saying, if you can find a space to fit in some of your own priorities and make it your day, your time, then you'll be, I don't know, you'll just be happier. And that power of saying no, you'd be surprised sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of women get asked to join, committees so that their expertise can be used. And you maybe help for a year or two or longer, and then it's assumed you're always going to do the summer book sale. And, when you then just realize, I don't really want to do that anymore, it's okay to go and say, well, here's a couple of ways to say it. You can either say, well, I'm sorry, but I don't want to do this anymore. Or you can say, well, I don't have any time. And then they'll say, what, you're not working anymore? What do you mean? We really need you. You're the only one that's got this skill. Or you can say something like, I've made the decision to prioritize some other things in my life right now that are really important. And I know this is important, but the things I need to do are more important for me. And also, I would suggest, what did you ask Jane? Jane has been working with me now for 5 years on this, and she's got all the skills that I have. And you give an option. You give it's not like you cut it off, but you give an option. And even caring with parents. I mean, I know that a lot of people don't have the money or the resources to actually hire someone, but I've got many friends who have just had to do that because, in some situations, their parent is needing like 24-hour care. And so I mentioned that as probably not the only example, but it's certainly when you're volunteering or doing things for the community, it's really, really important. Make sure that those are yours. Another thing you can do, according to Leslie, which I really like this idea, is to create your own personal mission statement. What is important to you in this life right now? What is less important? That making that distinction enables you to prioritize the goals that are really important. And I know, and it could be something very, very simple, but if it's simple, then you should be able to prioritize it. That's the important thing. What you don't do determines what you can do. And unless you give up some things that you perhaps are unhappy doing and you want to say no, it could be to a relationship. I know there's a lot of people are getting divorced in their 60s and 70s because they've reached this point where they just can't say yes to that person anymore. There's a shift in values, a shift in priorities, and taking care of that person, I'm talking about husband or partner now, is just not what you want to be doing. It's not a priority for you. And I'm not advocating divorce or advocating that you leave your partner, but I'm just saying if it doesn't align to your priorities, then you've got to find a way to express yours, okay? So, do you have difficulty saying no? I do. And I suppose whenever I do these videos, I'm always also talking to myself. But do you have trouble saying no to people? How much of your day right now is spent reacting to the needs of others? Good question. Thank you, Leslie, for this article. Very thought-provoking, and I hope that you found it valuable. If you did like it, please like it on YouTube here so that we can get the word out to other women. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do that, because we are getting close, believe it or not, to 200,000 followers here on YouTube. And I think we're like 190, so it's a long way to go still, but I would love to have more people join us. And, you know, it's my way of shattering some of these aging stereotypes that women over 60 are doing great things. We're making a difference in the world. Okay, so have a great day, everybody. Take very good care of yourself. Stay safe and strong, and know that you're important in my life, and I'm glad you're by my side, and hope that we're giving you something that you really value. Take care. Bye for now.